Welcome back. As we've been talking about this morning, all kinds of walks going on this time of year, fundraisers for a lot of different causes across the state. But this weekend, for the first time in these parks, there's a walk in southeastern Connecticut for children with apraxia, a neurological disorder that affects speech. Joining me now are two coordinators of the walk. Well, shoot, they're the ones that put it together. We're going to talk more about apraxia as well as how you can take part. Say hi to Lisa Maffeo and Heather Nena. Thank you so much for joining us today. Lisa, first of all, apraxia. People might know the word, but might not know specifically what this disorder is.
Right. Apraxia is a neurological disorder where the brain knows what's going on, but there's a misfire to the mouth. So the child will have trouble expressing their words, not being able to say what their brain is trying to tell them.
So receptive speech working, expressive speech not so good. It must be a little bit like being trapped.
Yes, it is, because you know that they're trying so hard to tell you something. And I had a conversation with my son one day. It was this for 10 minutes and me going, I don't know. He had a hair in his mouth.
That's what he was trying to tell you.
That's what he was trying to tell me.
Well, you know what? We actually are fortunate enough to have an example of what your son goes through. Joey, 7 years old?
Yes.
All right, here's a little clip of Joey right here showing some of his difficulties with speech.
I go.
All right, tell us what we're seeing here
This
with your
is
son.
about 2 years ago. My son was trying to read a decodable book, the books that come home that are your basic sight words.
Yeah.
And at that point, he really had no words. It was the beginning of kindergarten, and now he does so much better with it. But at that point, I recorded it to have a chronicle of this is where we were.
Right, right. He's really unable to communicate.
At that point,
is what
yeah.
it came down to. Is just
Right.
sort of saying the same sound for each
But I didn't
different
want to
page.
discourage him, so at the end I was like, "Yep, you did a great job," because I didn't want to discourage him. He was
Of
trying.
course. No, of course. So what can be done? What are the treatments? What are the therapies?
Intensive speech therapy, and one of the reasons we decided to do the walk was to get the message out. Early intervention is key. A lot of people think when you have a boy, they're late talkers, and you have to get intervention as early as possible. Speech therapy as much as possible, and supporting each other, family support, and school.
Yeah, you got to go forward with the treatment. If I had an autistic child, and if I heard one more time that Einstein didn't talk till he was 3,
Yes.
everything's got to be fine.
Yes.
I wanted to slap him
Yes.
when they said that. So, what are the ways to find out if you're headed down this road and to get out in front of it?
Well, the first thing, if you start to see when your child is really young that they have an issue, like at 1, if they're not saying a lot, start to worry, and then by 18 months, definitely get an evaluation by birth to 3. And then from there, they'll kind of guide you as to what you need to do. They say that you really can't be diagnosed officially with apraxia until about the age of 4.
So the 4.
But you'll notice no babbling maybe as an infant, and you'll see them starting to struggle when a lot of kids have first words.
Yes.
You'll see them looking like they want to say something, and they're not able to say the word.
Or you may hear a word once and never hear it again.
What are you seeing? Your son's better. Joey's better.
Right.
Tell me what change you're seeing in him as a result of him being able to finally express himself.
You can't get him to stop.
And I'll bet you that sounds wonderful to you.
It does some days, but it's like, oh my gosh, no.
Yeah, I totally
His
understand.
sentences aren't totally correct grammatically. They're not in the right order, but he's getting so many more words out, and he's understood by more people. Like even his grandfathers with hard hearing can go, I understand what Joey says now.
Fantastic.
Which is huge.
Fantastic. Well, let's talk about the specifics of your event going on. It's going to be tomorrow, September 7th at Camp Oakdale. Meeting House Lake. Is it just going to kind of go around the lake? Is that the idea there? Meeting House Lane, there it is right there. Okay. And 10 a.m., rain or shine. And from what we're hearing of our friend Sam, who's coming up here, you're going to have a nice, comfortable day in which to do this. And you say a good turnout is expected.
Yes, we've actually got about 286 people registered.
Fantastic.
With more expected to show up tomorrow.
Cool.
We have a lot of kids events planned, and it's going to be a fun family day.
Well, I hope this helps right here.
I bet it will.
I hope so
Thank
too.
you so much for coming on.
Thank you for having me.